I had a really, really good co-supervisor, because there was two supervisors that were working it, um, and I had a really good team, and I was enjoying the work that I was doing. And after about 6 months, they gave me a brand new team doing something I had never done before, which is military benefits, basically, to make it easy, right? And so, also, I got this team. They're like, the team runs well. You don't have to do anything. Just make sure their time cards are good and whatnot, right? Oh yeah. Well, it's hard to find good jobs, because like I said, I was doing this job, and 6 months later I got another team. And then a month after that, they gave me a brand new process that somebody had screwed up that I had to fix, and of course didn't give me the tools that I needed to fix it. And by the time I left there, when I left and decided to come and do this, I was working about 12-hour days, 7 days a week, give or take, when everybody else is working 8 hours and has the weekends off. And through all of that, trying to get everything ready, trying to get set, somebody made an error, and they basically said, well, we're going to have to write you up for this. And I was like, yeah, no, I quit. And I was on salary. Yep, I was on salary. And as soon as they're like, we're going to have to write you up, I was like, well, you better find a new person to fix your stuff then. Yeah. So I was going to pay no overtime, nothing. And it was funny too, because I was like, hey, this is broken, this is really broken, needs to be fixed. For a year I was saying, hey, this is broken, needs to be fixed. And they kept saying, well, you can't do it, you're not authorized to do it. And I said, okay, somebody needs to do it. And finally, so they finally authorized me to do it, to fix the things that need to be fixed. A week later, they transferred me to under new management, and the new management said, well, you can't fix that. And sure enough, we had a problem with the client because what was broken broke, and they're like, oh, well, you should have done better, so it's your fault, you're getting written up. I was like, well, okay. I was like, that's made my choice pretty easy to leave. Although, yeah, it wasn't like my management. Like, I had really good management. It was the top of the food chain, and then somebody called me a liar and a piece of crap, and I was like, yeah. Yep. Bad management kills companies faster than anything else in the world. And it's sad too, because it really doesn't take much to be a good manager or a good supervisor. Like, it really doesn't. Yeah. Although, to a certain extent, I don't blame. Like, to a certain extent, wages are. So wages are a tough thing, right? It's a tough thing, because you're looking at it and going, well, you can't live off of $15 an hour. Nobody can live off of $15 an hour in a big city, right? Then you go somewhere like where a lot of my family lives, right? And $15 an hour, they've lived their whole lives on that. Bought cars, houses. It depends on where you're from. Determines whether or not a salary is good or bad, or good or not, right? The problem is we have such bad inflation. Like, the natural growth of salaries, right? Because salaries should usually follow the economy, usually follow inflation, right? Right, and that's true too. But the problem is, first of all, people are sitting in jobs that, and we're talking general here. I'm not talking about anybody specific, so I'm just going to talk in generalities based off what I've seen. I'm no expert, so I don't want anybody to get upset when I'm talking in generalities. A lot of people sit in jobs that, one, don't pay well, or get degrees in fields that don't pay well. So they come out, they're in massive debt because college is too darn expensive. You should not come out $80, $100, $120,000 in debt that you just can't pay back because you're not going to get a job, right? When you're younger, you need those smaller jobs, right? You need those entry-level jobs when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, in that area, right? Because nobody coming out of college is going to get a job making $100,000 a year, right? I know some people do. It's very, very rare, right? And the reason is you don't have the experience. That's understandable, right? People don't want to hire people who don't have experience. And a lot of places do pay, a lot of work pays for school, right? But we're just talking about generalities here, right? So for a young person, those entry-level jobs making 40, 50 grand a year, 30 grand a year, right? That's how you build up your resume, right? That's how you beefing your stock in yourself, right? The problem is, it used to be, it's 100% more complicated than I'm making it out to be. Yes, 100%. That's why I said I'm just speaking in the biggest of broad strokes. But one of the hardest thing that's keeping, especially younger people, from achieving just the basics, right, is the housing market exploded. You cannot get a house as a young person. You can't even rent as a young person. I mean, renting's almost more expensive than buying a darn house these days. So the housing market has just exploded. So you can't get your own place. And food in and of itself has ballooned recently. So everything that especially younger people need to be able to get out and take those steps and be able to be successful has become atrociously more expensive. And making it so people can't do it. Again, big broad strokes, it's way more complicated than that, but that's just from what I've seen. Yeah, well, that's how they get you sometimes. It's like, yeah, we'll pay for college if you're a full-time employee, but we just have no slots. But yeah, and these are in a conversation like that of what's wrong with the economy, housing, how to get younger people who are not well established. Oh yeah, yeah. Because it used to be they went like pretty much side by side, right? But the cost of living went like this, and salaries went. No, I'll just stay. I'm comfortable right here. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna try to stay off the political talk because, like you said, it might make people. Everybody has their own opinion, and they're all great opinions. I don't think. I like hearing everybody's opinion. They went side by side. Well, I always go back. Yes, time and place. Well, and just to show you how old I'm getting, right? My mom was in the Marine Corps in the 80s and 90s on $1,000. I think no, she was making $600 a month. $600 a month, maybe. Yeah, $600 a month. She could afford a house, a car, go on vacation, to feed me, my brother, herself, and my grandmother. Like, we weren't living large, right? But we could take care of the necessities. Oh. And I always go back to a loaf of bread was 10 cents for 200 years. You can't find bread for 10 cents, but yeah, we're gonna get off the political, because there are plenty of political channels out there that literally, those guys, they study it like it's their, well, because it's their livelihood. Here it's all about the video game. Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna look. We'll probably do that Cold War, that hide and seek one. That sounds like a lot of fun. That'll probably. We'll see where we're at after this game's done. Because who knows where we're gonna be at that point. Okay, perfect. This finally cleared itself. Oh yeah, and $20 an hour used to be great money. Like, people used to kill for $20 an hour. Heck, when I got out of school, $20 an hour would have been fantastic. I would have loved $20 an hour coming out of high school, coming out of, you know, $20 an hour. You could support yourself on $20 an hour. Used to be. Yeah. I did bring up the. I was like, did I bring up the power? Yeah, I did. Yeah. There's yeah, and there's no simple. There's no simple solutions. There's no simple cause and effect. It's very complex thing. Yeah, $20 an hour is pretty good money. Like, you weren't gonna be rich, but you're gonna do okay. You're gonna be. You could sustain your life. Oh yeah, my house is now worth twice what I've paid for it. It's just ludicrous. I wouldn't pay twice the amount for my house. I love my house. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love my house. I would not pay double for my house. And I love my house. Like, I don't want to go anywhere for. Okay. It helps when you connect power to things. Really, guys? You just couldn't get it in there, huh? There you go. Be free. Yeah, no, man. Housing has got freaking ridiculous. Well, the biggest problem with housing these days is property taxes. Property taxes are unbelievable. It's insane how much property taxes are. We're gonna have to tap some new iron here soon. I mean, that'll back up because steel's a little slow. You're still good, right? Yeah, you're fine. I don't have to worry about you at all. I don't have to worry about that. Okay, why is one side... Okay. You guys got some fun going on here. So let's do this. I don't know what you guys what you guys are doing here. I just know I don't like it. There we go. Now the other side will feed this side. No, it won't. No, it won't. No, it won't. Okay, hold on, I'll get it there. This is not the way you do this properly. But it will work. Nice. Yes, and it will, because the housing market is about to tank. Well, at least that's when I was doing mortgages, and I was looking at it a lot. The market was problem. I mean, there's a lot of problems. I mean, yeah, it's due for a huge crash because people can't maintain what. And you have a lot of people buying up property. Like, people are buying up those that have about 400,000, depending on where you're at. You know how I know? Because I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a full basement on about a half an acre, quarter acre, half an acre. And I'm in a good neighborhood in a suburb of Illinois. Oh my, yeah. Let's not get into vehicles. Holy cow! When I bought my truck, I bought a Ford F-150 when I got out of basic training. Loved that truck. Nowadays, and I paid $20,000 for that truck. And at the time, nothing. It wasn't special. It didn't have 4-wheel drive. The super cab, but it was pretty much generic and stock. And that same model now goes for like 70, 80 grand. I'm like, what is wrong with the world? But yeah, yeah. Yeah, I paid. Mine's going for about 400 grand. Is what my house is going for. I did not pay 400 grand for my house. I just want that to be. Did not pay 400 grand for my house. Half of that. Well, there's a few answers to that. Honestly, oh really? That's actually pretty good. Usually those depreciate unbelievably quick, but he's probably going to pay you $2K less than what you paid for it, and then double the price when he resells it. It'll crash, and so really, America is kind of a unique place, right? Besides things where the government steps in, which it happens. If everybody in America, right? Let's just take Ford, right? Let's say Ford Wrangler. All right, just because you mentioned the Ford Wrangler. If everybody in America stopped buying Ford Wranglers and basically said we're going to stop buying them because it's too expensive, Ford will eventually, well, Jeep Wrangler, sorry. I'll get it together one of these days, I promise. They would bring down the cost. Slowly, but they would bring down the cost and people started buying them again. Exactly, thank you. The problem is that we don't do it. People try to get, you know what I mean? It's not for a lack of want or trying, but and sometimes even against your best efforts, you do everything that's necessary to get them to drop, and somebody steps in and saves them anyways. Solar's another good, although the batteries are crap. But that'll get better with time. That'll get a lot better with time. And there's a bunch of programs now to help offset the cost of solar. I get calls at least once a month about upgrading to solar. Yeah, you have to. Usually, they'll send somebody out and they'll assess and tell you, you know, or you can do it yourself, like Sun Walkog did. It depends on the program that you're in. Like, it depends. So yes and no. It depends. Yeah. Yep. I didn't say it was a perfect system. I just said it's like there are multiple ways to go about it. Because I know a buddy of mine, he did it through a program, and oh yeah, so yes and no, right? It'll be that cheap until somebody decides that they can, until taxes come into play, and right now there's nothing affecting solar because they're pushing everybody to go to solar. Once everybody's on solar, then they can go and say, oh, well, there's a new. That's what always happens. So it's cheap now, but I have a feeling 20, 30 years from now, it's not going to be as cheap as it is now. I could be wrong, though. Definitely could be wrong. But it just seems that everything that... Well, and it's funny because I was talking to my dad, and my dad and I always have really good conversations, all kinds of things. And we were talking about the income tax. And the income tax was instituted in America to pay for World War II and World War I. And they liked it so much, and it was only supposed to be for the top 1% were supposed to pay income tax. Period. When it was, oh crap, I forgot to put, and here we are, you know, oh, well, California's a whole different animal. California is a whole breed of, you know, they're a whole different. From my understanding, California's got first of all, California has the highest standard of living in the country, from my understanding, or highest cost of living in the country. I don't know that for 100%. That's just from my understanding. And again, I think they have. I've saw news. Who knows how? You know, I haven't done any follow-up. Yeah. Yes, that's basically what I heard. That's basically what I've heard. In seeing through, you know, video clips and stuff like that. I've never lived there, but I have no interest in living there. I like Illinois to a certain extent. I wish some things were different, but well, yeah. So California has problems with roaming blackouts, from my understanding. Yeah, the cost of living there is high. Then again, you know, you're in a way, you know, and again, this everything I say take with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm not an expert. Yeah, I would never live in Canada. I like where I live. I and there's something to be said about being used to a place that you're living in. You know what I mean? But if I had my choice, I love where I live now. What the heck is this thing on it? Oh. But this is where all my friends are at. I wouldn't want to move, but I wouldn't mind going back and seeing. So I was born in Beaufort, South Carolina, and I'd love to go back. They say it's really beautiful, and if it's as beautiful as I've heard it is, I wouldn't mind moving there. That's about the only place these days that wouldn't mind Florida. Probably not though. I don't like the heat. So for me, I wouldn't mind living in Alaska, but I like the cold. I'm a cold weather person. So nothing to do with politics or anything like that. I just like the cold. Oh, we have hit our last break of the day, everyone. We've got about 55 minutes left on the stream, so we're gonna take our last break. Yeah, for me, it's about the cold. But I was a heat weather casualty, and I was in Iraq when it was 140 degrees out, 145 degrees out. I do not like the heat anymore. I'm not a fan. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to work, Jeremy. But it's the yeah. Well, Maine's got some good seafood. I wouldn't mind going visit just for the seafood. All right, guys, we're going to take our break. We'll see you guys back in 5.